death is inevitable, and leaving all you once knew behind for something new can be troubling to some. Contrary to what many believe, Valhall is not the equivalent of heaven. For Germanic pagans, Valhall is but a place for an elite class of slain warriors called the Einherjar. It is every day that these fallen warriors wage war upon each other, then at day's end, they are resurrected by the Allfather. After which they spend their nights feasting and drinking. Notably feasting on the supernatural Boreskrimir, whose flesh regenerates every night. These warriors are destined, or some could say, doomed, to repeat the events of the previous days until the fated arrival of Ragnarok. But for a battle-crazed devotee of the Allfather, Valhall may be their version of heaven. Yet for an average person, this fate could be perceived as torturous. Every day, as soon as they are clothed, they straightway put on their armor and go out into the court and fight, and fell each other. That is their sport, and when the time draws near to under meal, they ride home to Valhall and sit down to drink, even, as is said here. All the Einherjar, in Odin's court, deal out blows every day. The slain they choose and ride from the strife, sit later in love together. We see many people conflict new ideas and takes trying to redefine the prerequisites to enter the Hall of the Slain. Understandably so, since we live in an era where an honorable death with another warrior is not a common occurrence. At least, for the average man living in a civilized country. But the prerequisites to enter Valhall are not attested by esoteric passages which are left up to personal interpretation. The prerequisites for entering the Allfather's Hall are very clear. Odin is called Allfather because he is father of all the gods. He is also called father of the slain because all those that fall in battle are the sons of Hezadopton. For them he appoints Valhall and Vingolf, and they are then called champions. Vingolf, one of the halls of the gods, and another place where the battle slain up. Little is known about this destination. We have gone over the requirements to enter the Hall of the Slain, falling in battle. But what defines battle? Or to fall in battle? Warriors engaged in combat of course comes to mind. Although we see many new ideas which seem to shape the prerequisite to fit their needs. But when we look at this August contained within the Poetic Edda, the prerequisite for entrance becomes slightly clearer. Within the Poetic Edda are various legends related to the hero Sigurd. In these legends the hateful Valkyrie Brunhild is tricked by Sigurd, so she tasks her brothers Gunnar and Honi with killing him. But Gunnar and Honi previously made oaths with Sigurd, so they enlisted the help of their brother Guttorm. The brothers frenzied Guttorm by feeding him a stew of snake meat and wolf flesh. Guttorm pierced the body of Sigurd with his sword, while he slept. Unfortunately for Guttorm, this awoke Sigurd. Guttorm attempted to run but Sigurd heaved his legendary sword Gram at the assassin, cleaving him in two. It is after this murder that many tragic stories play out, leading to the death of the Volsung lineage. But what we will look at is what transpires shortly after Sigurd's death. Brunhild forms a plan to commit suicide and follow Sigurd to the afterlife. She gives specific instructions for their funeral in order for her to achieve this. So what is the relevancy to all of this? Well, Sigurd was time and time again attested as perhaps the mightiest of men to ever grace the earth. A man of unbounded and courage. So surely upon his death, he was of course swept up to the Hall of the Slain. Especially considering he succeeded in avenging his murder before he died. Not to mention the means of vengeance, throwing his legendary sword Gram, which cleaved Guttorm. This was a mighty feat indeed. But it seems Sigurd's fated destination was Hell. Hell is the Germanic afterlife. It is not a lake of fire or a place of weary and woe. It is there that we will meet our ancestors, where we may choose to stay or drink the memory-ridding waters from the tree of life and be reborn. We can come to the conclusion that Sigurd passed on to hell by acknowledging a saga which precedes his death. Helwig Brunhilder, the Hell Ride of Brunhild, attests Brunhild's descent to hell and her encounter with the giantess in her way. The exchange with the giantess is a heated one, and the giantess makes comments on Brunhild's misdoings in life. But Brunhild ends the exchange with this: "Ever with grief and all too long are many and women born in the world. But yet we shall live our lives together. Sigurd and I take down, giantess." This implies that Sigurd is residing in hell, and when Brunhild arrives, they will never part. Also here, we have yet another account implying that Sigurd is indeed residing in hell. The implication is from Odin our Greater. Woeful for this her vengeance was, as so we learned, to our sorrow all, in every land, shall all men hear, how herself at Sigurd's side she slew. So what does Sigurd's afterlife destination have to do with Valhall? As stated above, Sigurd is attested frequently as being one of the greatest men to walk the earth. A man of unprecedented courage and resolve. Yet he ends up in hell instead of the Alfather's Hall. Surely the Allfather desired to have such a man within his ranks. But it seems his destination was determined by the circumstances of his death. Not by the gods and not by his character as a man or skill as a warrior. Sigurd did not die in combat with another warrior. Sigurd was murdered in his sleep. This may have denied his entry to Valhall. The slaying of Guttorm his assassin was irrelevant to his entry, because Guttorm and Sigurd were not engaged in combat. We frequently see our folk bending our religion to their needs. This is not the way. Valhall most likely is not a destination for simply honorable men or average folk. The seats in this hall are reserved for men who fell in combat with another foe. Wood must be hewed in the wind.
Wood must be hewed in the wind.